Go. Hey everybody, how's it going? Oh boy, chat has some stuff in it already. Let me see if I can catch up.
What is up, people? Pre-show. Whoop whoop. Pre-show.
It's time again to start up the pre-show. We are going to talk about a bunch of random stuff. Yes, we are. You know that it's the pre-show, and we are gonna have a lot of fun. Pat is in a league match, and it's almost over. Do-do-do-do-do. That's the new pre-show song that every week it'll just be different lyrics for the pre-show.
Down. We just alternate it.
Yeah.
No one will know what's going on.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I've died 11 times. Almost. I have almost died every 2 minutes. Yep, I've died every 2 minutes.
Well, you are playing a champion you've never played before, so there is.
Yep. I also only have Ghost and Heal.
Yep, that'll do it.
Struggling out here. And this beard has got to go.
Mine's getting pretty rough too. Mine's getting pretty rough too. That's okay though. Also, it's raining, so we may lose power. I don't know. Every once in a while, we do. Andrew should be coming. He hasn't said anything about not coming. But the third box is already there because I've been messing around with the layout a little bit to try and make things line up more. And hopefully, because I think I got everything right, you're only hearing me once. So if you're hearing me twice, please let me know. And we'll see if we can figure out why. But I think that it's good. So, oh, King says you're starting to look like a dwarf, Pat, which is good.
Oh, Lord.
Also, because he's playing League, Pat currently cannot see chat, so I will try to carry things over for him.
Sorry, my dudes.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Hope everybody's had a pretty good week. Mine's been
being bullied.
Long.
I'm being bullied.
But that's okay. We're going to have a good time regardless, so, Super Robot Wars for the PS5. I wish that I knew, Iggy. I wish that I knew. 3 pixels to the left. Look, all I'm saying is the layout has to be perfect, and it's never going to be perfect, so it always has to change. That's how it works. If it could be perfect, then it would be great, but it can't. So it must always change and adapt. Also, Streamlabs says we have no viewers, which is hilarious to me because I can see the chat. But Restream just went from 0 to 2 to 8, all in like a quick, rapid succession. So that's always fun. And then, yep, we should still be going good here. Pat's match, watch it go on to like an hour and a half, and he's just trying to do a podcast while he's trying to.
We're getting our ass handed to it.
But yeah, it's been a good pre-show week. Just having a good time. It's probably only going to be like 2 hours, but it could go long. Who knows, right? It could be anything. We're going to talk, I guess I could give you guys the rundown during the pre-show, what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo stuff. We're going to be talking about the Microsoft stuff. We're going to talk about the Sony stuff. So who knows, right? There's not a lot of news. We have 4 different games we're going to be talking about reviews for, but there's not a lot of news. It's just that the news that we have is really discussion heavy news. I'll put it that way. It could take a while to get through new consoles and what's going on there. So
100%.
Yeah,
there's going to be comments.
Oh yeah, there's going to be comments. KH3's OST is really good, Artaki. That's a good OST. I think that game, I did a review on the game, so it's like I already got my thoughts out there, but I think that game is unfairly maligned and also fairly maligned at the same time, which is really strange. Also, I need everybody to know that during the setup today, while trying to get the layout just right and trying to get everything going right, I had to listen to myself talk. Half-second delay after I was speaking in real life, and it was the most disorienting thing I think I've ever had to do. So, that's fun. But it's done now. I don't have to hear myself talking a half a second after I start talking. So yeah, Joel is with me on this. It just I decided to try and do music because like I just needed to test the audio, right? I was like, I'll do some music, and so I was like, do 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 do, because it would just a half second later come back, and it threw me off so much every time. Oh, so that's good to hear, Will. I'm glad. I'm glad that we can bring you some joy in this time. We do our best to have fun here. Um, I have a good time every week. Zeke doesn't always, but I do. So that's what's important. I do not. I started playing it a little bit, Iggy, and I couldn't keep up with it. I used to play a ton of mobile games, and I've just kind of fallen off of all of them. I don't even have one that I'm playing right now. But still playing Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost on. Playing that all the time. That and Fall Guys, 2 games that I can't seem to get away from every day. Pat is just mean mugging the camera right now. So
Sorry,
focused.
I'm
It's the
trying so
extreme
hard.
focus of a man
So-
trying to win with a character he's never played with before.
Yeah, that's my problem. It's like I've never touched Riven ever, so I'm just like struggling. Doing my best, man.
Yeah, I think like that's the thing, Artaka, is that like Kingdom Hearts 3, I think the entire first 3/4 of that game could kind of just be removed and you probably wouldn't even notice, right? Because the big important moments come right at the end and they're so good. It's just such a great run at the end. It's just everything up to the end is kind of just it's not super important. But you are already Fall Guy. Oh no, Nani. Pat is so focused he didn't even catch the reference that he loves so much.
What reference?
Allow me to drop that one out of there so that now we can have the forgiveness. What about the ingredients? That's a good question. This looks like a good. I can't do a Donald Duck. I'm sorry. I can do it. I can do it in Starscream's voice. Find Megatron. This seems like a good place to find some ingredients. But I can't do it in Donald Duck. I'm sorry.
I also cannot do Donald Duck. I feel like that's one of the hardest voices to do.
It's really difficult, right? Is that just what the pre-show turns into now? Is impressions?
Fine.
Every week on the pre-show. Yeah. This is the moment where I completely run out of things that I had planned for the pre-show to talk about. So, how's it going, chat? You guys doing good? You having a good week? Having a good time? Andrew, if you're speaking, I cannot hear you and I cannot see you.
Man, this is rough. Getting a few kills, but not very many.
Yeah, let's go. I think, again, Kingdom Hearts 3 is a really solid game. It just has some unfortunate problems. That all I wanted, I'll put it this way, without spoiling anything for anybody, all I wanted out of Kingdom Hearts 3 was for the story to wrap up. And in a lot of ways it did, right? But I also had to just run around for a long time, kind of doing nothing to get to that ending. I would have unironically preferred a game that was half as long just to get to that ending faster, because how good that ending is. That ending's real solid. And by ending, I mean like the last 5 hours. The last 5 hours is real good. But
I thought it was only decent.
I can hear you, but I still can't see you.
You
Yeah.
can't see me?
No. Hopefully
That's the
Remind
mystery
does
part.
fix that. Your voice is currently coming out of Buff Granny's mouth.
Oh, hello. Look at my bicep. Oh.
Andrew is a little loud. Yeah, let me see if I can bump him down. There we go. That should fix the loudness. Andrew, can you say something so I can check the audio? Well, all right then. We're just moving forward.
That's what I do.
Can you hear me?
Why are you whispering now? You guys are
I'm
legitimately going to drive me insane one of these days. I spent 30 minutes leading up to the podcast checking my audio.
Is mine bad?
No, but Andrew, still can't see you. How you sounded?
I'm going through.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. Why would you whisper when I asked that question? Chat, save me. They're driving me insane tonight already. We're just in the pre-show. I'm only allowed to be salty 2 days out of the year, and yesterday was one of them. We don't need another one tonight.
And Christmas is the other one.
That's right. Christmas is the other one. Why Christmas? Thanks, Chip.
The whole Jesus thing pisses you off.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, but sure. Still can't see Andrew. Pat's game's still going.
No, it's not.
Okay. So we could start the podcast, is what you're saying?
I think something's wrong with my camera.
It seems like it. I don't actually hate Christmas at all. Andrew made that up. I like Christmas. Christmas is fun. I hate what Christmas has become.
Yeah, I would say I actually hate what Christmas represents now, but not what it used to.
Christmas as an idea, I think, is really solid. It's what the world has turned Christmas into. No, it's not about spending time with your family and, peace on earth, goodwill to all men. Instead, Christmas is about spending money. Spend all your money. If you don't buy a gift for someone, you hate them. It's like, no, that's not what Christmas is.
And then you like them. How much you like them is equal to how many dollars you spend.
Yeah. And that's not what Christmas is supposed to be about. Like,
Yeah,
be nice to each other.
I'm not too hip on Christmas anymore. Like,
go ahead.
Even when I was a kid, I told my parents, I was like, I don't want gifts anymore. Like, I literally just want us to have like a really nice dinner.
Yeah.
And they were confused, but I think they realized afterward, oh, he just doesn't want gifts because he doesn't like the way that this works.
So a sad story, but when we adopted the kiddos, my siblings, they were getting so much stuff for Christmas from state and all kinds of stuff that they didn't have any actual understanding of how much a gift meant, right? It was just another thing. Where were the rest of the toys? What do you mean there's no more boxes? And that, just this last Christmas, we opened everything up, and they didn't get a lot, because we're not rich, but they got stuff. We opened everything up, and then we just played with their new stuff with them for 3 hours. And they weren't asking, hey, where's the rest of the stuff? Then it was just, hey, let's have fun. If we got this stuff, let's play with it. Because it's supposed to be about spending time together.
Yep.
You don't buy the gift to send the kid to another room. You buy the gift to help the kid build a Lego set. You have a good time together. I'm going to go on this rant right at the start of the podcast.
I think Trey is happier when the kids get Lego toys now. He's like, it's not about getting them a bunch of stuff. It's about getting them Lego sets so I can build their Legos.
No, you know what I get the kids every year? I get the kids stupid stuff. The kids ask me, can I have this toy? And then Big Brother Trey has to buy them that toy. I don't care how expensive. I mean, I do care, but like, I will get them that toy, and then they'll break it like 6 months later, and then we just redo it every Christmas. My oldest younger sister of the 5 wanted a Hatchimal. That Hatchimal is broken.
Yep.
But she still has it in her room because we sat with that Hatchimal on the couch for like 4 hours because it had to reach a certain temperature before it would hatch. You're supposed to rub the side of the Hatchimal to help it reach that temperature, and she got tired of it partway through. So then we just laid on the couch with the Hatchimal under my arm, with her on top of me laying on my side, and then Robert also on my side, so that it would eventually warm. I basically sat on an egg so that it would warm up enough to heat up so that it would crack open for her. So Christmas is fun for us. I like Christmas with us. I don't like Christmas everywhere else.
So, my brother-in-law is going to be 24 this year, I think. For him, it is 100% about how much did you spend on me.
That's such a shame.
That's so sad.
Yeah, that's such a shame.
He's an adult, and that's all he cares about.
Hmm.
And if somebody, and it's also about how many presents you got. So if one person got 6 presents and he got 5, well, why? Why didn't I have 6 presents?
Yeah.
Those are words that have come out of his mouth on Christmas.
See, and like, I feel like even if you don't like practice Christmas for the religious purpose, like that some faiths do, it should still be about spending time with the people that you love. It should be about buying stuff.
That's what it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, like Thanksgiving is no longer about doing what we did to the Native Americans. It's about spending time with your family.
Yeah.
Which, it wouldn't be a bad idea to like change the narrative or just remake the holiday so it's not about what we did to Native Americans.
Well, that's not what the holiday's supposed to be about. The holiday's supposed to be about when we worked together before we stabbed them in the back.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's just change the narrative of the whole holiday so it's no longer even close to that.
The holiday's supposed to be about the time when we actually were thankful and were working together and things were good.
And then committed suicide.
Yeah. So
it's fine.
That's why Christmas is better. So, little fun fact before we go any further.
Wait, you say Christmas is better?
Yeah.
I disagree. The food during Thanksgiving is supreme.
You've never had a good old Southern Christmas meal cooked by Grandma.
You've never had my grandmother's Mexican meal.
That's fair. All I'm saying, Pat.
Grandma Food Wars.
Thanksgiving, you get turkey, right? Christmas, you get ham, except at my grandmother's where you get ham and turkey. You also get Buckeyes, which are peanut butter balls covered in chocolate.
I'm just
Both
saying,
holidays suck.
We get enchiladas for Christmas. We don't get turkey or ham. We get enchiladas.
That's fair.
And one time, it changes every year. One year, my grandmother made a 7-layer enchilada casserole. And when I mean to tell you that I ate half the casserole before anyone else could, I was sick. And then Thanksgiving, she always does something crazy, and my uncle and my dad barbecue.
Yeah.
And we typically don't eat turkey. Sometimes we do.
You know what else is really good about Christmas?
Nothing. It's a shitty holiday.
The deals, baby. The deals.
I was going for a segue, but sure. The best thing about Christmas is that at Christmas, we get to remember Game of the Year, which is a part of the Full Spectrum Podcast. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
Hey, babe.
And Pattrick, did you see how far he had to reach for that segue? Christmas music is awful.
Look, I just
100%.
I disagree. But I just pulled that segue back as it was trying to sail past, you know? So, how's everybody doing? You guys had a good week?
No.
All right, then. Andrew, how's your week been?
All right. So, first off, I want to say one thing, and that is Brock and Stone again.
Didn't even play it, but he wants to say it anyway.
That's 100% the truth. Second thing I want to say, Thanksgiving sucks and Christmas sucks. You know why? Because I have to spend time with people.
Andrew, what's the best holiday?
That's fair.
The best nationally recognized holiday is my birthday.
Okay. So, before we can move on from there, I just have to point out, Andrew really loves birthdays.
Shut up.
Like, Andrew will go, hey, your birthday's coming up. And I'll be like, yeah, in like 4 months. And then my birthday will come up and I'll have, like, for Andrew's birthday, I'll get him something little, you know, just a little, hey, happy birthday, buddy. Andrew will give me something like really nice. And I'll be like, yeah, birthdays are important. And then Christmas will come around and I'll get them something nice. And Andrew will give me a little something. And so it's just ironic to me that, like, we trade off.
Yeah, birthdays are more important to me. Like I said, I hate Thanksgiving. No trolling. I do not like Thanksgiving and Christmas because I have to spend time with people.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
That's a fair reason.
But birthdays, it's a celebration about the people I care about.
Yeah.
So it's the whole day for them. So that's more important to me.
Mine is coming up, you know.
I know. I do know.
One thing I can argue, Halloween, fantastic holiday for gaming. All the kids are out getting candy and they're off your server.
Sure. Sure. But what about, hear me out, when it comes to holidays, hear me out. I want to preface this by saying, not just because of the religious reason. What about Easter? So Easter has the candy.
No.
Easter has the good times, the joy, but doesn't have the Christmas music that you guys dislike. And Easter's just like one day. It's not a month leading up to it. It's just like one day. You have that one day, and then all the candy in the Walmart is super cheap.
There's always that one kid that doesn't get as many Easter eggs as the rest that ruins the whole day.
That's fine. Put the kid in the corner. Just eat your candy.
That's not how that works, because that kid throws a tantrum, starts throwing eggs,
throw a tantrum
on the ground. The parents are arguing, and then somebody knocks over the barbecue pit because their fat ass is close enough to it, knocks it over.
So,
and there's charcoal all over the ground.
Oh, our talking makes me want to do this. We could do a holiday tier list.
Holiday tier list.
So, I just want to point out, there is one negative thing, which is also like not a negative thing, but it is, for Easter. And that's if you are religious, a lot of Christian religious, I guess, because that's Easter, the holiday for, right? A lot of Christian religious people have sunrise services on Easter, which means you got to be up at dawn. And that's, but, you know, hey, you also get to eat candy. So there is that.
I don't get any of the candy.
What about, if we're not looking at Easter, what about, like, that's true. If you're Catholic, Easter is a huge thing. It's not a small thing. That's a very good point. What about, hear me out now, President's Day? May not seem like much, right? However, the advantage of President's Day is everything's closed. Everything you want to go to is closed. And it shouldn't be, because it's not a holiday that requires it, but it just is.
See, I like Labor Day.
I don't like Labor Day. Do you want to know why? I think Labor Day is dumb because most people still work. And so instead, the people that are paying the taxes still have to work. Most of them. But the people that are benefiting the most from the taxes don't have to work on the day when we're supposed to be celebrating the workforce.
Yep.
That's true. But I don't have to work on Labor Day, so I like it a lot.
That's fair. I worked on Labor Day.
I use it. I mean, I still end up doing stuff I didn't want to do on Labor Day.
Pat's the white collar here, and I'm the blue. I worked on Labor Day. I'm gonna get a shirt.
Yeah,
that says
I
worked
have
on
had to
Labor
work.
Day.
Wow.
I haven't had to work Labor Day in like 5 years, you peasant.
At my old job, I wasn't working on Labor Day.
What about Mother's Day and Father's Day? Do those like
You want to get me started on this?
No, I was about to say because that's like really like tied into your familial status, like how your family gets along. And if they don't get along, those days are worthless to you. If they do get along, then it's just a day that's supposed to be, hey, respect your parents. But maybe like, okay, my mother watches this podcast, so I'm gonna be nice in how I say this. The idea of mom doesn't have to do anything today is nice, but since my mother and I get along, that shouldn't just be one day. That's kind of rude, don't you think? And like, if you don't get along with your parents, then those days are worthless to you completely. They're also not like nationally recognized holidays, are they? People don't get holiday pay for those.
No.
What about Grandparents' Day?
I mean, it's the same thing. If you don't have a good relationship with your grandparents, then some people don't even know their grandparents.
So
all my grandparents are dead.
Let me throw out this maybe this might be a hot take. I think we should stop bring your parents to school day and bring your grandparents to school day.
Yeah.
100%. What if a kid doesn't have a mom or a dad?
So I'm gonna throw this out there because I went to Grandparents' Day for my youngest little sister because none of the grandparents could make it to her school. They could make it because they only had a short window, right? They could make it to one school, and so one set of grandparents went to be with two of the children, and one set of grandparents went to the other school to be with the other one. And so Maddie was just like left with nobody, and so I went, and then the other kids in her class were making fun of her. Like, he's too young to be your grandpa. And it's like, shut up, kid. Like,
Did you punch him?
Somebody, no, but like somebody's here for her. What does it matter? Yeah, I think something like Family Member Day is probably a way better way to do that, right?
Or just not have it at all. Why are you making parents stop working to go eat lunch with their kid? They don't want to eat lunch with their kid.
They should. I'm telling you, they should want to eat lunch with their kid.
No, because you know what happens? They have to go home at night and eat dinner with their kids.
Parents should be loving and kind, and the fact that they're not is part of the problem in this world.
You can be loving and kind and still enjoy the fact that you get a daycare while you're at work.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Everybody needs
They want to be around their kids, they'd homeschool. You know what? That's fair.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Everybody needs a break.
You're so right. I should have dressed a buff granny. None of the kids would have messed on her, picked on her then. It would have been great. Okay, are there any good holidays? We do not want to talk about Columbus Day. Columbus Day is one of those that really gets me going. Are there any good holidays?
New Year's. And here's why.
Valentine's Day? Nah. No.
At New Year's, if the year was really bad, then it's over.
Yeah, that's true. Halloween, I think, is pretty good.
Yeah, I like Halloween.
Halloween's the one good. So, like, Valentine's Day is great unless you're single, and then the entire world reminds you all day long that you're single.
Holidays just suck.
Except for Halloween.
They're meant to be good things. Yeah, except for Halloween. Halloween's fine. Everything else sucks.
St. Patrick's Day? No. You know what's wrong with St. Patrick's Day? It's the day where sexual harassment is just allowed. No. You look at me and you go, oh, that's stupid. Trey's being hyperbolic. 3 different places that I've worked. 3 different places. That was the day when the creepy guys at work would decide to pinch the girls on the bottom. First off, you shouldn't be pinching anyway, right? St. Patrick's Day, whatever, right? Definitely not there. Not there. And it's like, well, it's St. Patrick's Day. It's like, no, that's sexual harassment. Stop it.
Yeah, that's terrible. They should just call it Drunk Day. Everyone go get drunk. No one's allowed to drive. People are designated Ubers.
I thought nobody was allowed to drive there.
No one's allowed to drive.
No, like those people are designated to not drive and be Ubers.
Well, then they can't celebrate the holiday. See, holidays suck.
It's just Labor Day all over again.
The people working the bars can't either.
It's just Labor Day all over again.
That's why all the holidays suck, because there's always half the workforce that's not getting an actual day off.
What else is left? Are there any other
July
good
4th.
days? July 4th?
But that's only good for Americans.
Well,
If you're not American,
it's also not good for all Americans.
Let's celebrate America by blowing up Chinese fireworks.
Because like,
never thought about that. That's hilarious.
Let me just throw this out there too. I think that another big issue, as somebody who worked in emergency medical, firefighters don't get the night off for July 4th. They don't get to just enjoy it and have a good time. A lot of times the fire department is in charge of launching the fireworks because they got to be there anyway, so we might as well give them more work, including volunteer fire departments.
Yeah. No, so there's a lot of reasons why the 4th of July is a bad holiday. Juneteenth is a good holiday.
I feel like I'm a negative Nancy when it comes to holidays, but
I do think all holidays are actually bad.
I think retail like sucked it out of me, right?
Oh yeah, working retail will do it.
10 years working retail with holidays, just like.
That's why I hate Christmas.
I get why people that work retail dislike Christmas music. I get it. You know, you have to hear it all the time.
Yeah, I also hate Cinco de Mayo. It's a fake holiday.
It's a fake holiday. It's for a bunch of white people to walk around, at least in America. It's about white people walking around saying the occasional Mexican word and drinking margaritas.
Yeah,
in America,
that's what it is.
That's all.
Or dressing up like wearing like traditional Hispanic attire on purpose.
So hear me out. What if we make our own holiday?
We should.
We could make Spectrumversary, or Spectrum Day, I guess, which is just the day that we started the podcast. It can just be that holiday every year.
All of our followers request off. Everyone request off, and we just all get on and stream and just talk the whole day.
Hold on. They don't. No. One step better. They don't have to ask off. They just get it off.
Yeah, it's a nationally recognized holiday.
I'm like, look, if you tell them it's a part of your religion,
it's called TFS Con.
If you tell them it's part of your religion, there's a high chance you'll get it off.
I wish we could get Gundam Game Day recognized. There is one holiday that I really celebrate every year. It's my deathversary.
Yep.
June 3rd, every year. That's also my parents' anniversary, which is really interesting to me.
My mom's birthday is the day after.
Oh, nice.
And my birthday is the day after that. And D-Day is the day after that.
June is one hell of a month, man.
June starts off with a bang.
That hit me hard, Andrew. I didn't expect that one at all.
June is one hell of a month. Jesus.
Well, we should probably move on from holidays, since Andrew's week is always the longest one anyway, and get back to Andrew's week.
Technically, my birthday is a holiday. It's just not a legal holiday.
My birthday is too, but nobody recognizes it. All Saints Day is important, dang it. The ghosts, the spirits get out on Halloween, and the saints got to put them back. It's important.
My birthday is celebrated in the states that it's now legal to do so.
Makes sense.
So eventually, huh?
Why are you celebrating Hitler's birthday?
Oh no.
It's not that. You're celebrating it for a different.
Oh, Columbine. Okay. You're one of those guys.
No. Kill the podcast. Kill it.
It has to do with this thing,
Leonard,
that people do to make
Call back.
Oh no.
But yeah, no, literally. Eventually, my birthday will be celebrated all over the United States, and I won't even be able to be like, hey, it's my birthday. And they're going to be like, haha, no, it's not. And then they're going to like.
So, would you say, Machete Eddie, that you're full of baloney?
Ha!
Andrew, I wanted to do a breathing treatment after all that. What's the rest of your week been like? I'm gonna call in my striker Momo. So go ahead.
I played League a lot. I actually did not play Legends of Runeterra.
Falling off of it
figure
or what?
I just haven't played. I've been trying to focus on beating games for Game of the Year stuff, but then I ended up watching TV shows and getting sucked back into the League, so I'm failing at that. Got Tony Hawk. What is it? Tony Hawk Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 remastered.
I want that so bad.
Dude. So this game.
Wait, hold on. Do you have it on PC?
No, I got it on PS4.
Okay.
I booted up the game. Trey is celebrating the 420 right now. Booted up the game. It asked me if I wanted to do the tutorial, and I was like, "Sure." It's been a while. I booted up the tutorial, and it asked me, follow the green markers, and then I was like, "Huh, it's kind of coming back to me. Let me just try something." And I spent the next 25 minutes ignoring and not following the green markers and just skating around the skate park, doing all kinds of tricks because I've spent so much time in Tony Hawk games that it just came back to me like that. I knew exactly what I was doing.
I could tell you a lot of combos off the dome because I put so many hours into that game as well.
And this game really made it. I had a grin on my face. It was childlike glee is how I would describe it because I was just so giddy to play a Tony Hawk game again. And then I ended up talking to Courtney about it. She's never played, but she likes the skate games. I'm like, well, you might like Tony Hawk. I mean, it's much more arcadey, but still skateboarding.
Skate was so good.
And I talked to her about it for maybe 15 minutes straight while she just stared at me like I was a lunatic. And I was like, my character's got a blind board, and I used to have a blind board, and he's got these shoes on, and he's wearing this, and all that kind of crap. Like, being somebody who used to skateboard also amplified my excitement because, hey, skating's back.
Were you goofy footed or normal footed?
Normal.
Yeah, I am too.
And then I forget what it's called, but I push with the back foot.
Yeah, so you push normal? You didn't push Mongo?
Yeah. No, Mongo, yeah. I can't do that. I've tried to do that in real life, and I just feel like I have no control.
I don't know how people do that.
I had a friend growing up who did.
Every time I try to skate Mongo, I end up falling out from under the board because I can't get my other foot onto the board in time, and then all of my weight isn't transferring forward.
I
I've been playing the superior skateboarding game.
What?
Warframe.
No.
You can skateboard in Warframe, and you can skateboard in space.
No. That's not the same.
It's pretty great.
Anyways, Andrew. So,
no.
Who are you playing as?
Just shut down immediately.
Myself.
You can make your own character in these?
Yes, you can create your own part too.
Yeah, I know that they did that in the later games. I didn't know if they did that in the I guess they just added it for the remake.
Yeah.
Look, I have somebody else talking to me about sports. You're not going to take this from me. I don't want a hoverboard in Warframe. I want to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's worth it.
So I heard they took out some of the skaters. And so I was curious who they took out.
Well, they must have added a bunch of people too, because they have like a lot of, like when it was introducing everyone, there was a lot of people who had like new like HD footage.
Yeah.
They were showing some. Okay, they must have just swapped out some people for like represent the new generation of skateboarding.
I think Nigel Houston is in the game, and I know Nigel Houston was in the older games, and at that time he was like 13. So I'm wondering if they I was wondering if he's like older in the game, or if they like remade his 19-year-old character model.
I don't remember because like I said, I created my skater, and I've just been playing him. I'm locking stat points and buffing my stats. I'm maxed out air right now. But yeah, it's really good. I'm gonna keep playing it, but I tried to complete Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
And failed miserably because I booted it up and I played for a little bit. I sent off another spirit, and that one kind of got me a little bit. I mean, I wasn't like crying or anything.
Yeah.
But that one meant a little more to me.
I got you.
But then it was right back to the grind.
Yeah. I think that's what that game is unfortunately going to just kind of be, you know?
Yeah.
It definitely kills my desire to play it in big bursts, too.
Yeah, that was my thing. Is I played it for a little bit, and I was like, well, I don't really want to do that. So I guess I'm going to play something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no desire to play the game now.
I still think it's like it's good story wise. It's just the minutes.
It's good, and it is a well made game, but it's just not what I'm looking for.
It's like, Pat, imagine you're playing Call of Duty, right? And every time you want to reload your gun, you have to do a minigame. Every time you want to crouch behind cover, you have to do a minigame. Every time you want to pick up something that's important for the mission, you have to do a minigame. It's just like it's really draining in a lot of ways.
Well, it sounds like it's doing what UFC 4 is doing to me, which is there's so much leading up to the fight that's just what seems pointless.
I got you.
Yeah.
And then you get to the fight and short, and then you have to go right back to training, which is nothing.
I thought you meant adding ads in after the fact, after the reviews have dropped, so that it doesn't affect their Metacritic score.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's EA.
Yeah, it's EA.
It's still a game. I will say it's still fundamentally a good game, in my opinion. Like, I don't think that the ads necessarily take away from how the game plays.
Yeah.
It still has problems.
Sure.
Yeah. But Spiritfarer, I didn't get a chance to play Crusader Kings 3 because I was trying to beat Spiritfarer and play Tony Hawk and play League. And I have watched almost the full. I have like 2 episodes left. I've watched almost the 2 full seasons of the Harley Quinn animated show.
Yeah,
it's on HBO Max. Originally on DC Universe. It's actually really good. I really like it. It's just a fun little show. Definitely not kid friendly.
Sure.
Lots of blood and guts and F-bombs and stuff like that. Not appropriate at all for children. I had to tell somebody at work because they're like, "What are you?" I was watching it on lunch, and I walked in my office. Like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm watching Harley Quinn." I had the earbuds in.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. I wasn't watching it out loud at work. And he's like, "Oh, that looks pretty good." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I wonder if Caitlin would like it." That's his 5th grade. She's probably like 10 years old or something like that. I don't know, 12, 11 years old.
Sure.
And I was like, "Ooh, she definitely can't watch this show."
Yeah. It makes sense, though.
Yeah.
It's aimed for an adult audience.
Yeah. But that was good. And then I read, I don't know if I talked about it last week, but I resubscribed to DC Universe so I could read some Batman comics.
Sure.
And I read The Long Halloween.
Okay.
And Dark Victory. which is
Okay.
a sequel to The Long Halloween.
I was gonna say I don't think I've read that one.
Both of them are very good. I highly recommend reading them. The way The Long Halloween ends is, I still don't know if I like it or not,
Sure.
because it leaves some cliffhanger kind of stuff, but then Dark Victory never touches on it.
I got you.
But yeah, but a really good story. It kind of gives a lot of characters time to shine a little, just like a little bit. Like they're nowhere, like they're not getting like a whole arc really,
Yeah.
except for Two-Face. But just you get a little drip feed of the villains, and it's kind of nice.
I got you.
Yeah. And then I'm in the middle of reading Black Mirror, the Batman. I think it's called the Black Mirror, which is about an underground like auction that auctions off like dark stuff, like the crowbar that was used to kill Jason Todd
Oh, nice. Okay.
and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I'm really into it. I've been reading the comics a lot more than I thought I would.
Not to be confused with the TV show Black Mirror.
Yes, that's why I said I was like, I think it's called The Black Mirror, but I could just be thinking of the TV show. So
Yeah.
it's either the Dark Mirror or the Black Mirror. It's one of those two. But that's it.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Pat, how's your week been?
It's been rough. Played League. Played some Pokemon Red and streamed it in Discord. Recorded that. Hopefully that video will be going up soon. I just to edit the video. That was a lot of fun. And then work has just been really hectic. This is a really busy time of the year now. Well, it should have been a busy time of the year earlier, like last month, or like late last month. Sorry, is happening now.
Yeah.
So it's stressful, and just kind of sucks. So I'm really tired all the time, and I get home and then I just don't want to do anything. So that this whole weekend,
Yeah.
this whole weekend I was trying to sleep as much as I could, but I have trouble sleeping as it is. So I was tired for most of the weekend, so I didn't really do a whole lot either, and I had a lot of stuff I had to do, but I didn't do any of it. So
I'm still listening. I just need to open up another red water.
you're good. I've just been struggling with sleep and all of that, but hoping that this next week or two will make things a lot easier, but who knows? We'll see.
This Dr. Water sure is good. So, Pattrick, I have to ask a question though. You mentioned a Discord a minute ago. What Discord would that be?
The Full Spectrum Discord for our Patreon.
Oh, if somebody wanted to join the Full Spectrum Discord, what kind of process would they have to go to get in there?
They go to our Patreon and donate one whole $1. You donate $1 a month, you get in the freaking Discord. Right?
You've got to upsell them, Pat.
No, but see, this is the thing. If you can't afford $1, then I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. For real, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But there's perks. You get to chat with us off the air. Chat with us anytime. Play video games with us sometimes.
Pat will even name his Pokemon after you.
Yeah, I'm naming Pokemon right now after patrons. So
And
it's a lot of fun.
Very active.
Andrew, if I could spoil one thing about Pat's Pokemon run, would you like to guess what kind of Pokemon I am?
Pokemon Red is what you're playing.
And he's doing a Nuzlocke. He didn't mention that. He's doing a Nuzlocke.
Yeah, it's a Nuzlocke too. So
God, nerd.
I have to.
What, are you a pitchy or something?
I'm a Rattata. I'm a coward Rattata with Runaway.
Machete Eddie wasn't very close.
So That's a lot of fun. Yeah, we just have a good time in the Discord. Come check us out.
Yeah, and it kind of pops off frequently. We have a lot of people chatting a lot.
It's an active place.
It's at the point now where if no one's posted the Discord for more than like an hour, I start to freak out. I'm like, what's going on? No one's saying anything. It's also got to the point where I tried to turn my phone off last night.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to read in bed, and it was just.
Why do you guys have mobile notifications on? Just turn them off.
No, but I want to know when I'm awake.
Yeah, what if I'm not on my computer? Come on now.
Just manually check it.
No.
What if somebody posts at least?
I mean,
I need to know right away.
It'll still take you 20 minutes to get to your computer anyway.
Yeah, well, usually when y'all add league, I'm asleep, and then I wake up like 5 minutes after you post it. And I'm like, yo, play, and then I'm forcing myself to get off the couch.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, I guess we'll talk about my week then. I've been.
Hey, Trey.
Yeah, what's up?
How was your week?
It was good.
Don't try to take my duty.
You said duty.
I've still been reading Words of Radiance. I got to oh man, I put 2 R's in there. Come on, hands, help me out, buddy. I really like it still. I got to a extremely satisfying moment with a character that has been pulling the wool over everybody's eyes, that other characters were like, hey, no, you can't trust that guy. And obviously I had reader knowledge, so I knew you couldn't trust that guy. But it felt really good to have a character be like, no, I don't trust you. And it was like, yeah, finally.
Your favorite character.
But I also still don't know what happened to one character like 10 chapters ago. And honestly, at this point, there's a lot going on. All I want to know is if that character's okay. That's all I care about. I just want that character to be okay. So, that's the tough part about reading a book, is that sometimes you have to wait a long time to get answers.
They're probably dead.
They probably are dead, but
it's fun.
I hope they're not.
Spoilers, they're alive. Haha. Gotcha.
I also finished Kamen Rider 01.
All right.
Because Kamen Rider 01, the first Kamen Rider show that I was watching weekly, wrapped up last week. And so, or like week before last, but like right at the end of it. Got caught up, watched the ending. Really, really solid. I recorded a full Tokusatsu check-in on it at like 3 a.m. Yesterday, this morning. That'll probably go up tomorrow. But it was really good. Kamen Rider 01, definitely worth the watch. Not perfect. The middle of the show definitely suffered, and it's very obvious when COVID happened, because the show had to take a break, and then when they came back, they had to shoot things differently. There are shots of characters that are supposed to be in the same room that clearly are not in the same room. It's shot at angles so that it looks like, well, they're in the same room, but it's clearly we were at the set 2 different times, and there's just nothing they could do about that. So I'm trying not to hold it against the show too much, but the ending is incredible. We finished Mahot Sky Precure and Pretty Cure in the King of the What Now Discords watch together, and that show was pretty good. It definitely had some problems, but mostly in characters getting attention that probably didn't need to get attention, that weren't important to the entire plot, and got entire episodes dedicated to them. But, it's fine. I still think that was a really fun show, and I'm glad that we watched it. I believe the next show that we're going to be watching in the King of the What Now Discord is Kyoryuger, which is Super Sentai, and I'm very excited for it. And, you should also I know plugs come later, but you should also maybe consider checking out the King of the What Now podcast and their Patreon to be able to see a bunch of the bonus episodes that they make, as well as the One Piece podcast that they make over there. But yeah, it was really good as well. I started Kamen Rider Saber. It's the new show going weekly.
When you say new, you said weekly, so this is like a 2020 show.
Yes.
Okay.
What if I told you that Kamen Rider Saber is about a writer, and it's book themed and about the power in reading for children?
That's interesting.
What if I also told you that the opening theme is incredible and goes, "Saber in your hand"? It's like, yep, no, I'm with you. I'm every week. Let's go. I'm gonna sing that with the OP every week, without a thought. The OP is already on Spotify. I've sang it multiple times throughout the day. It's really cool. It definitely feels a little bit more Sentai, right? It's more fun in the first episode than a lot of Rider series normally are. It's more fantastical, like say a Wizard or Kamen Rider Hibiki. But I already ordered the driver. I already ordered the belt. That should be coming in soon. It's just, I like the idea of it a lot. I like the idea of, hey, there's power in reading, which already is good, right? I like that for me. I think there's power in reading. But the idea of children also getting there's power in reading, I think is really good. And so far, the writing seems to be pretty solid. So the action looks real good. I like the CG. I've seen some people's takes on basically whenever they go into the fantasy world is rendered in CG. So
Okay.
I've seen some people that don't like that, but I think it actually looks pretty good. So Super Sentai OP ringtones sung by me on the Patreon. Nobody would pay for that. But yeah,
Don't
Kamen Rider
say
Saber.
that. We have Shari.
That, you know what? That is a very good point. That's true. Kamen Rider Saber, very, very solid so far. I also started checking out Captain Tsubasa Rise of New Champions, which is a soccer game.
Soccer.
Yeah, football.
Some might call it a sport.
It is.
I'm interested.
And it's anime soccer.
I am less interested.
So, first off, I am having to learn how to play a soccer game. It's actually way harder than I thought it would be. Having to handle my players' energy while trying to keep the ball away from the enemy team. I'm having to learn map awareness to know where my players are. However, being able to pass the ball from Tsubasa to Taki, and as it's flying to Taki, being able to dive in as Kasagi to take the ball and then pass again to Taki and then start up the kick with Taki, getting to see Taki pull back for point blank shoot. And then he kicks the ball. It flies towards the net. The goalie dives for it. It's spinning. It's on fire. The goalie grabs it, pulls it to himself, and catches it. And then he tosses it back. It lands right in front of Tsubasa. You go in for the drive shot. The ball goes straight up into the air, curves down, hits the net, and as it's flying, the goalie goes for it, grabs it with the tips of his fingers, and then falls back into the goal with it. Anime soccer's really cool.
I am interested once again.
So there is a moment.
Hey, I wanted to play this.
There's a thing that can happen where you kick the ball and people will dive in front of it like it's a bullet, trying to take a bullet for like a president to stop it from going in the goal. And if you kicked it hard enough, it can push them into the goal.
That's awesome.
There's a story mode. And in the story mode, it's clearly referencing the anime that I haven't seen, right? I started watching the first couple episodes because I was excited for it. I'll get into the anime in a second. But there's, in the matches, if you know what to do, you can proc story cutscene moments in the match where it'll follow the show. Obviously, I have no idea. So sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. But some of these are aerial battles for the ball where two characters are jumping into the air together from each team to try and get the ball, and you have to mash the controller to get more points on your side than theirs so that you can get the ball. There is a moment where I triggered one where these two twins, they kicked the ball up, and then one of them landed on his back and put his feet up, and his brother landed on his feet, and he pushed him up so that the older brother jumped up so that he could headbutt the ball. And one of the things you can do is you can trigger Tsubasa to jump up and slam his head into it too. So they both fall back down to the ground. And then they're both hurt, but they didn't score. So then Tsubasa's energy refills slower because he's hurt. And it's like, yeah, I'm in this to win this. Let's go. It is incredibly hype. There's so many cool moments. There was one that I triggered earlier today where this big guy on one team dove in the way of the ball. And, like, he caught it, and it was pushing him back, and it pushed him just over the line, and it counted as a goal. Now, that said, you can accidentally trigger it where they get story goals. So you're having a match, and everything's going good. You triggered the wrong thing because you let them get the ball too much, or you let them have the ball for too long, and they trigger a thing that just gives them a goal. And so then you gotta pick it back up from there. However, almost every time, there is a thing from the show, I'm assuming, where one of your team members gets a goal as well. So if you can figure out how to trigger it, then you're good. In fact, I unlocked a move on Tsubasa because I triggered one. And it was like, heck yeah. This is in the anime where he gets the upgraded move, you know? And so I'm wondering if I hadn't triggered that, would I have got the upgraded version of the move? But
this looks super intense.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I saw this a couple weeks ago when reviews started dropping, and I was like, huh, this actually looks interesting.
So when we first saw the gameplay last year, we saw gameplay, and it looked really rough, if you guys remember. It looked slow, frame rate was bad. They clearly have honed it a lot since then. It's not perfect. There are times where the AI knows who you're going to pass to, and so right as you pass to somebody, they'll immediately slide into them, you know? But the gap, the window for dodging is actually like really big. And so you can dodge really early and still be okay. It really is just anime soccer. And honestly, that's what I needed to make it more fun for me, you know, was characters with names that were jumping and doing crazy anime stuff. And I'm there for it. I'm really enjoying it so far. I will say every match is super draining because I've never played a game like trying to win like this before, you know? I played FIFA just for fun with friends, but I didn't know what I was doing, you know? So now I'm having to actually learn. But it's fun.
It's good for you.
With that said, I've also been watching a little bit of the anime, and the anime is impossible to watch in good subs. It just came out 2 years ago. Official subs are nowhere to be seen. It's on Crunchyroll in Brazil, but even with the VPN, I couldn't get it to run correctly. Or I'm sorry, on Netflix in Brazil. So I ponied it up and just bought the show. It should be in within the next couple weeks coming from Japan with official subs. I wish there were better options, and it was cheap, thankfully. I mean, cheap comparatively, right? But the show's only 2 years old, man. It shouldn't be that hard to find. I wish that these things were more just like open. I'm like, hey, I'll pay you. I would have bought it immediately on Amazon if it was on Amazon Instant Viewing or Crunchyroll Viewing or Netflix, you know? But pretty good so far. Pretty good. I like it.
Exciting.
So give me an Ice Shield 21 football game and I'm there.
So this is a remake. Because apparently this show came out a long time ago.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. It's the 2018 version.
Okay, I didn't hear you mention that part. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Apparently the manga's still going too. And the game partly covers the story of the remake anime, and then apparently the second story, which is where you get to create your own character, follows the story of the manga. So I'm excited. I'm getting through Tsubasa's story right now before I go into your story, I think is what it's called. So
that's cool.
I'm very excited. I bought a pompadour for my character when I get to make him. So my character's going to be running around with a pompadour.
Of course he is.
Yeah. So yeah, I like a soccer game. We can put that in the record books. Captain Tsubasa, Rise of New Champions will probably be on my top 10 for the year, which is going to be really weird. But
That's awesome.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't have like a ton of options or anything. I just think the idea of, hey, let's play anime soccer is really good. And then they went, hey, let's make anime soccer good. Let's make it an actual good soccer game, and let's make it actually like tie back into the anime in a really cool way, and let's let you do crazy anime stuff.
Yeah.
I would say like my only real complaint is in the story modes. Your players don't get better, because they're set to their anime skill level, so they get better in between games to the level they are in the anime. But you can't like improve their stats in any way. And I don't know if it'll be different when I get into my created character, if maybe they'll get better. But I'm okay with that because it's a story game, you know? It's following the story of these characters. So I'm okay with them just being as good as they're supposed to be. Unlocking moves mid-game, you know? I'm fine with that. But all right. I think that's everything for my... Oh, no, I'm sorry. There's one more thing. I got a Idleman that I was really excited for that I have to talk about on the podcast because I actually think it's kind of a waste of money. I may even wind up doing an individual video just on this item because I was really excited. I bought this back in March, and it finally came in from Japan, and it is my Kira Major watch, which doesn't fit now, and it fit earlier when I tested it out. It is the Henshin device for the Kira Majors. My arm is too fat. I'm gonna get this. Hold on. I'm gonna get this. My arm is too fat. I'm not a small child like it's designed for. All right, I got it. So I was really excited for this. I'll just be in one ear, but you guys will be able to hear. So it looks cool, right? There's good detail on it. But you can henshin, which is cool, right? You can henshin. It turns out all the rest of the noises, for the most part, are tied to the other items. The sword, bow,
Of course.
stuff like that. Which is normally not that way. Like my my Kyoryuger gun has all of it, you know? You can push the other buttons. You can do the phone call. And then you can call for the vehicle. And that's it. You know, like that's all it does. I wish I could tell you that I could transform into the other colored rangers, but I can't. It's just the red. Which is weird to me, because, like, this thing should be universal, you know? And I wonder if they just give everybody the same watch and then have it make different noises when they call the cars in editing. But, you know, it's okay. I just don't think it's, like, to tier with the others. And it's like $50, you know?
Yeah.
So
It doesn't seem as cool as like the gun and the sword and everything that you showed off before.
yeah, this is probably my least favorite of all the things that I've bought from Tokusatsu so far. But I mean, I'm glad to have it. It'll go on the shelf, you know. It still feels good to spin it, as chat's talking about. I wish that it was a little bit more. But that's why we get this stuff, to test it and see, you know? I should be back in both earbuds now. I apologize for that. We're talking. Pattrick is gone. We have lost Pat to the Kira Majors. He has vanished. Oh, we got a pledge. Thank you for that pledge, Smog. Appreciate that. I don't know why it's doing the default zombie one again after I fixed it last time when we got a pledge. But I guess we'll get that fixed. If you don't get your Discord link, let me know. Shoot me a message on Patreon and we will get that taken care of for you. Now we're good? Okay. Pattrick is gone. I don't know where he went. He didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything. He's just gone.
He's just vanished. So I guess we'll move into reviews.
Yep. We don't have sitting queues, do we?
I don't think so. Maybe that's what he went to get, but I didn't think they came in yet.
I didn't think so either.
He is just
Do we
vanished.
just vamp for him to
He's back.
Crisis averted. There was a very large bug walking around on the inside of the lamp, like of the big light that I have here. It was huge, and I was not about to die, so I killed it.
You left without saying anything, so when you came back and said crisis averted, I was like, oh no, something really bad has happened.
I could have died, Trey. It was like this large.
It's just a bug, unless it's a road.
Fuck with bugs. Period.
Oh man. All right. Okay, we'll get into reviews because the cuties still haven't come in. But hopefully soon. Let's talk about Marvel Avengers. Marvel's Avengers. I hate how Marvel's names are for their games. It's bad.
Yeah.
They should stop doing it. Marvel's
So
Spider-Man is also not good.
Just so
it's a good
game,
but
it's Marvel's. Okay, it's not your Spider-Man. It's not your Avengers.
Yeah,
we own it. Okay.
Yeah. So, Marvel's Avengers. This is a game that had a beta, and it's a video game. It is weird in that it's like a gear-based hero game. Go ahead. Sorry.
I want to say it's like I keep seeing that's a game as a service, similar to Destiny.
Yeah.
They're
They're adding more content soon. You're gonna replay the same levels with them, but they're adding more content. We'll get into that. Crystal Dynamics made this game. Rise of the Tomb Raider, things like that. Lot of big names on it. A lot of big name voice actors. What do you guys think the current Open Critic score is for Marvel's Avengers?
67.
Okay.
Okay, I was going to say 68, so instead I guess I'll say 69.
Joel says 42. Okay.
I have
65.
a coworker,
65.
my boss, that I watched play some of the game. Like I saw him play some of the game.
Yeah.
And it looked interesting, but it didn't look great. And he was telling me some of his problems with the game. And I mean, he likes it because it's superheroes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's it.
Okay. I'll push the button then. It seems like chat has all chimed in by this point, but I'll go ahead and push the button. The answer is, because it said we could go, 69.
Yeah, nice.
So, right on the money there, Andrew. Let me read a couple of these reviews for you, and then we'll get into the recommended score. I love how chat just nice. Game Informer
Good number.
says nice. Nice. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. Game Informer says the amount of depth can be confusing at first, but you have plenty of reasons to keep playing in the end game. We're going to get back to that one because I think that one's a really interesting review, and also they referenced Avengers Endgame. They're not, I'll tell you right now, they're not the only people this week to do that. You would be amazed at how many of these reviews bring up endgame in some way. And one even goes so far as to say, there might be a civil war about this one. It's like, oh, come on.
Shut up.
God is a
Shut
Geek
up.
says, the campaign is brilliant, and despite its flaws, I've had a great time with Marvel's Avengers, and I'm not done yet. Okay. Let's see here. Tech Raptor says Marvel's Avengers has a great campaign that's held back by a repetitive multiplayer aspect. Destructoid says while Avengers isn't getting in the way of itself with its tacked on campaign, when Avengers isn't getting in the way of itself with its tacked on campaign, it's a bit of silly arcade fun. If a lot of these concerns are answered via post-launch patches and the DLC characters are fun to play, there's plenty of room for improvement with Avengers. At launch, it's not going to wow everyone. Maybe Marvel wanted this out as soon as possible, but it could have used another delay. Let's see. US Gamer says, if Marvel's Avengers was just the single-player story campaign, it would be amazing. There, Crystal Dynamics sells you on its version of the Avengers and introduces the charming and endearing Miss Marvel to players everywhere. Combat has depth to it, and each hero truly feels distinct. Unfortunately, the end game is where our heroes falter, with broken matchmaking, rough options in terms of progression, and endlessly reused environments and enemies. Surely, Marvel's Avengers will see improvements. But here at launch, the end game needs a good deal of work. And then finally, I want to read this last one to you from a place that I've never heard of before. And I will tell you, it is the lowest one. It is from Stevivore that just says, I'm about done. Avengers would have been a great story-driven title, but its games as a service elements completely destroy it. Steer well clear, at least until achievements and progression are fixed. I don't think that solves all the problems, but sure. To date, Square and Crystal Dynamics haven't even bothered to officially acknowledge the issues the game is facing. For shame. So,
Shame.
what do you guys think the recommended score is now?
Okay. I'm
Chat throwing some low numbers out there.
going to say 55.
Okay.
I'm going 48.
48. Okay. Said we could go. The answer's 45. Artaka got it on the nose. All right. Would you like to guess what these scores were? Game Informer gave it an 8.8.
Yeah, I know Game Informer's score because I read it and I was like, this seems different than what I've been hearing.
I'm not saying they got paid because I don't like just throwing that around, right? But I find it really odd that they say that it had plenty of reasons to keep playing when, for most people, the end game, like the post game, is the problem, right? That's the thing that people complain about. Andrew Reiner, I don't believe, has been paid off in the past. He's always seemed like a straight arrow, so, I'm not saying that's what's happening here. I just find it really interesting that all the other complaints are, hey, the end game is bad. And he's like, no, that's the best part. So, to each their own, right?
And some people like just grinding out the same missions and stuff like that.
Yeah. God is a Geek was an 8 out of 10. Tech Raptor was a 7 out of 10. Destructoid was a 6 out of 10. US Gamer was a 3.5 or 2.5, I'm sorry, out of 5. And Stevivore was a 3 out of 10. So, Stevivore is about done. And that should tell you all you need to know.
Stevivore is done.
It seems like it could be fun from everything that I'm hearing people say. Like, there are fun times to be had. I don't think it's one to pick up at launch. And also, we kind of got to talk about the way that the games as a service works, right? Because the individual characters all have full skill trees. And if you want, you can just pay to skip them.
And the way the Battle Pass works, is it's $10 per character.
Yeah.
So
Don't want to grind them, but still want to play them at all abilities maxed out. $10 each. So I don't think that the idea of paying to skip something is bad, right? Warframe does it. You can, if you don't want to grind out Limbo, for instance, you can buy Limbo, right? But it needs to not be so grindy that most players don't want to do it, because then it's obvious what they're doing. Dead Space 3 has that problem, right? If you pay money in Dead Space 3, you can have stuff like gathered and like your little bots to go gather materials for like, I think it's like 20 minutes. If you don't, it's like 8 hours to send them out. It's ridiculous how different the timing is, right? So, regardless, we'll move on to the next one. Pat, did you have a thought about that? You look to be really disgusted by it all.
No, I was reading some of the other Survivor reviews. Guy.
Pat fell down the survivor hole.
Well, I was just curious, like, what all he reviews. He doesn't just review games. He reviews a lot of different stuff.
Oh, okay.
His reviews actually look interesting.
Okay, there we go. Maybe we should start checking his stuff more often then.
Yeah, Marvel Avengers doesn't excite me, to be honest.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 reviews. This is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, as you can imagine. It seems to be pretty much a straight port with some touch-up work. So, how do you guys think it's doing? Very beloved game. However, that said, remember our other beloved games this year that have come back. Destroy All Humans, SpongeBob, both did pretty poorly in the review mill.
I'm thinking it's going to be like 92.
Okay. Andrew?
I saw the reviews when it first came out, so I know kind of, unless it drastically changed, I'm going to say 87.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
This is your chance. Said we could go. The answer is 89. Machete Eddie got it right on the money.
Man, screw that Eddie guy.
So, let's read some of these. The Gamer says Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is not just a must-play title for skateboarding fans. Given its long-standing history, it can arguably also be considered an essential title for gaming in general. Then we have IGN, who says Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 proves that going backwards has been the best step forward for the series in 15 years. Which, I mean, honestly, That's true. That's true.
Yep.
You got that one right, IGN. You called it. PC Gamer says a perfect blend of authenticity mixed with modern-day quality of life enhancements. Joyous, slick, high-score gaming that looks nice, too. And then, because we already brought him up, Stevivor, or Steviver, I think is how Pat said it was, says, as a recreation, we're just going to highlight this guy every week now. We don't even know who he is.
Heck yeah.
As a recreation, it highlights how good the original games were for their time. Challenging, original, addictive, and a lot of fun to play. So, with all that said, what do you guys think the recommended score is?
95%?
Okay.
It's got to be.
I'm going to say it's getting a Tony Hawk bump to 98.
Okay. Pushing the button, chat. I love this axe so much, and it also hurts me so much. Said we could go. The answer is 99.
Wow.
Wow. 1 out of 100, though, huh?
There was one reviewer that was like, no!
With how
game's
many
no.
reviews? With how many reviews? It was
Bring
probably
back
like 3.
skate.
There's a lot of reviews here. It was probably like 3 that said no, but it wasn't enough to balance it off. The Gamer gave it a perfect 5. IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. PC Gamer gave it an 86 out of 100. And Steviver gave it an 8 out of 10.
So I was going to say this earlier, but I waited until this time to say it. I think a lot of the people that had problems with it some of the problems were that, like, some of the levels didn't age very well.
Sure.
According to them. But again, I come back to the whole thing where, like, it's not a new game.
Right.
So just because it didn't age well doesn't mean that the people who played it originally don't love it, you know?
This is like,
I haven't run into a problem with any of the levels, personally.
This risks pulling us down a different discussion, but I think reviewers are sometimes too harsh on remasters when remasters can't qualify for goatees anyway. And most of the people that are trying to buy them already know, right? They played the original. And so, like, when you review a remaster, I think it should instead be, hey, the original game had these problems. This one still does, but I'm not going to hold it against it. Should they have changed it? Well, it's not a remake. You know, if it was a remake, then yes, they should have changed it. Some stuff, yeah, maybe they should change anyway if they can, you know? But some stuff you can't change without redoing source code. They may not even have the source code anymore. So
yeah, I mean, they were limited to what songs they could bring back. Mm-hmm. Some of the skaters, they don't have contracts with them anymore.
Yeah,
and some of them, the contracts are not only over, but some of them are dead. Like,
yeah. And don't get me wrong, in a perfect world, every game gets a perfect remaster and a perfect remake where they fix all the problems every time. It just unfortunately doesn't happen that way. And so I don't think it's really fair to hold it against it, a problem it had originally, other than just to say it still has this problem, you know. But that's just me.
To me personally, if I were reviewing a remaster, I would review the nostalgia factor because that's kind of what it's meant to be in my opinion. But
well, it's the same thing where you don't review a remaster based on the standards of video gaming today. Like, you wouldn't review Shadow of the Colossus remaster and go, yeah, and the camera controls are bad. It's like, well, of course they are. It was a PS2 game. Camera was like notorious there. You can say the camera controls haven't gotten any better. They didn't touch them up, but it's still a PS2 game, you know? Like,
exactly.
So that's just me. Real quick too, now that we've been going for a little while and I got a chance to say it. Oh man, how do I word this without immediately making all of the Discord jump on me? If you are a patron that is a Sitting Cuties supporter, and we haven't had Sitting Cuties in a while, and stuff's going on, and you need your money back, shoot me a message, we'll get you taken care of. That's all I'll say about it, so that I don't get jumped on like the last time that I brought it up. I just don't want anybody to feel like they're being cheated. So let's move on to NBA 2K21 reviews. You know, 2K's been trending down for a while.
Yeah.
These games used to be incredibly popular and have kind of started to just drop off in some ways. There's barely any reviews for this one. So
I'm not surprised. The game came out and the reviews were still coming in. Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't. I don't
Embargo
think
was day one.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think they let people review it until after it came out.
Yeah, Embargo was day one, and I don't think they sent out review code. I really don't. Not with how few reviews there are.
No.
What do you guys think?
I can tell you why.
Yeah, no, I'm sure why. What do you guys think NBA 2K21 is sitting at score-wise?
Probably like 66, 67.
You know, if it wasn't a new console year, I would say like an 80.
Yeah.
But
that's the problem.
With the new console coming out and with Madden, I mean, I know it's 2K versus EA, but a sports game reviewing very poorly before a new console comes out, I gotta say 68.
Okay.
That's the problem, right? Like, this isn't a real review of the game because they didn't work on this version of the game. It's a copy paste. They did the same thing in 2014.
Yeah.
It's just a copy paste, and then the game comes out on the next gen, and it's actually a better game.
The score is 68.
There you go.
So let me read a couple of these reviews for you. There's not many. Attack of the Fanboy says, 2K21 is another solid entry in the series that builds upon the great gameplay strides of the last few years. Visual Concepts has some fires to put out, and hopefully that happens sooner rather than later so fans can get on to enjoying the grind. So, question. If a building is on fire, would you personally call that building solid? You think that building is in good shape if it is on fire?
So, I mean, so the only thing that they can be meaning is that the gameplay is still the best basketball game you can play.
Sure.
But now it's become, again, the only basketball game you can play.
Yeah.
So what does it matter?
Yeah.
And that's the other, I mean, I'm about to get on a soapbox because this game is starting to piss me off more than anything else. I'm just going to stop.
Okay. Let me read another one for you then. We have Forbes here that says, as it is, there are some strong components, but it doesn't feel like a completely new game in as many aspects as usual. And then finally here, PC Invasion says, a recycled mess that features the same bugs, financial exploits, and cheats that PC players have had to suffer through for years. My team has seen some great innovations, but they are completely overshadowed by NBA 2K21's shortcomings. So, what do you guys think the recommended score is?
I feel like it's like 40%.
All right.
Seems kind of high. I feel like Madden was so low. I'm going to say 24. That's 24%.
All right. Said we could go. The answer is 38. Jen and Kat got it on the nose.
Nice.
38%. The Attack of the Fanboy review was a 4 out of 5.
That's ridiculous.
That's why I harped on the burning house that was solid so much.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
Forbes gave it a 7.3 out of 10. And PC Invasion gave it a 3 out of 10.
Nice.
So this game, I've been watching gameplay. It looks like 2K.
Yeah.
And this looks like it could be fun to play. But the problem is that they made, in my opinion, bad decisions with changes.
Yeah.
Like they brought back the stupid directional shooting, which is stupid. And then they, every year the big deal is adding more animation.
Sure.
But they didn't talk about any of that this year. They didn't you didn't have people like Mike Wang on Twitter constantly letting people know what's going on, what this badge means, what that badge means, why you should do this, why you should do that, giving players tips. The community was really involved last year.
Yeah.
And this year they're just like, hey, we're putting out a game.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, we're charging $70 for it on the PS5 instead.
Yeah. Let's not forget about that.
Enjoy that.
Let's not
I'm
forget
gonna
about
get it.
that.
I'm going to get it because I'm a sucker. I'm going to get it on the PS5, but I'm not buying it on the PS4. I'm not wasting my money. I'll just keep playing.
I don't blame you. You should play Captain Tsubasa instead.
I'm probably going to do that. I've been playing 2K Golf instead.
Oh, there you go. Next up is Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning.
I know nothing about this.
Kingdoms of Amalur... Go ahead.
I always wanted to play this game.
Kingdoms of Amalur was a really interesting single-player MMO. The combat was just MMO, but single-player. It's a loot-based game. There are some really interesting combos that you can do. The gameplay itself was really fun, but the main story was very lacking. The side quest made you over-leveled extremely quickly. But it's a fan favorite, right? It's a classic in a lot of ways. It was made by a dev team that was funded by a state. I believe it was the state of Maine. And the development team was led by a baseball player. It's like such a weird story to make this game that flopped so incredibly hard. So it's been a cult classic for a long time. THQ Nordic picked it up. What do you guys think the score is for Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, the remaster re-release of Kingdoms of Amalur?
75.
Okay.
70.
Okay. Chat. You're up.
I hope it's better than a 70.
Chat, your answers are coming. Oh, there we go. I was going to say they're coming in too slow. The correct answer is 74. So, let me read a couple of these reviews for you. ACG says, wait for a sale.
Ooh.
God is a Geek says, it may not be the most important remake of the year, but Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning is a gorgeous, dense, and charming adventure. IGN says, Re-Reckoning is a reminder of what made the original great in 2012, but mostly a testament to how far we've come since then. Tech Raptor says, divorced from its original chaotic development, Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning feels like a remix of old gaming trends that are pleasant, if a bit generic. And then RPG Site says, a solid introduction to a world that may no longer be dead, but suffers from overstuffed quest design and mashy combat. And then finally, I want to read specifically IGN Middle East review that says, Reckoning was a good game in 2012, but porting it to 2020 with all its issues was very disappointing. A truly missed chance to make this entertaining game more fun and enjoyable. We are losing Andrew. He is falling asleep on us.
No, I'm awake.
He has sunk lower
just
and
laying
lower
back.
into his chair.
Yeah, I have sunk lower and lower in my chair, but I'm awake.
It's the bad games. They've just pushed him further back every time we get one. It
just my soul is beaten down.
What do you guys think the recommended score is for Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning?
Maybe like, go ahead.
65.
Okay.
I was gonna say like 80.
Okay. Ben says 67. I'm pushing the button. Artaka says 50. Said we could go. The answer is 67. You got it, man.
Nice.
So, God is a Geek gave it an 8.5 out of 10. RPG Site gave it a 7 out of 10. Tech Raptor gave it a 6.5 out of 10. IGN gave it a 6 out of 10. And IGN Middle East gave it a 5 out of 10.
Ooh.
So, the problem is, as far as I can tell from the reviews, is that Re-Reckoning is just the original game. When they announced they were remastering it, they said that they were going to touch up some of the issues people had. Doesn't seem like they did.
Yeah, it seems like from what I saw on ACG's review that it actually has more problems.
Yeah, it's more buggy. It really looks like they just dropped the environments into a new engine and then hit render. Because it's definitely more buggy to the point where I think people might have been happier with just re-releasing Reckoning.
Yeah.
That's
so,
right.
you know, if you loved the original game, it's a better looking version of that.
But not by much.
If you never played the original, wait for it to go on sale and then you can play the original. All right. Well,
Hey, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Gamers, we don't wait for sales?
Yeah,
Or are you
real
talking
gamers
about
don't wait for sales.
I thought you were talking you were talking to the dogs, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay. Um, we'll move on to the next point of discussion here. Let's talk about some game announcements. You guys excited for some game announcements?
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about some Nintendo game announcements?
Let's talk about Leisure Suit Larry, my boy.
No, let's not. There was a Mario Direct for the 35th anniversary of Mario. As usual, Nintendo didn't warn anybody it was coming. They didn't set anything up. They just dropped it live on everybody's faces. Which, you know, left everybody kind of scrambling to try and get reactions out, but hey, it's fine, I guess. There's a new Mario Game & Watch coming out, which is weird, but okay, sure. Why not?
Mario Game & Watch?
Yeah, so Game & Watch was the old handheld deal, you know? And so this one's going to have a bunch of the Mario versions. Which is like, sure, yeah, I'm sure, but it's going to be limited edition and hard to find immediately, like all Nintendo's physical releases. I don't believe they gave a price.
Okay.
That's true, Kat. That is a good point. There is no build up that way. It definitely doesn't stop people from angrily tweeting about how they didn't get what they want after it's over, though. After that, brain, work it out. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury was announced, coming to the Switch next year. 3D World is a fun game. New content coming with it. Bowser's Fury, bunch of new stuff there. And apparently they've sped it up. It wasn't shown in the original footage, but word has come out since that the game is faster. Because it's not just the Wii U version running on a Switch. It is an actual, like, Switch version. Like, it was re-rendered. And so it is running the way that it's supposed to now. Because the Wii U hardware was pretty slow, let's be honest. I mean, the Wii U hardware had to ask the tablet if it was connected the entire time it was playing, you know? So, that's cool. I'm glad it's like an actual different version of the game, basically. There's not a ton of changes, but the speed will be different. Following that, we had New Super Mario Bros. 35 announced. That's coming next month. You guys like Tetris 99 and the Battle Royale aspect of it?
Yes.
What if we had a Super Mario Brothers Battle Royale? Now, hold on, because you're thinking something really cool. That's not what this is. This is cool, but it's not the thing you're thinking of. The thing you're thinking of is Mario's running around in a 3D space, able to jump on each other and grab power-ups and stuff. That's not what this is. This is just the original Super Mario Brothers, and you go up against 34 other players, and your speed actually, like, how fast you're going and the points that you get are then put on other players so that more enemies pop up in their screen and stuff like that.
That's cool.
It's an interesting idea. It seems like it'll be fun. So, you know, there's that. Following that is, I was gonna say, before the news that we got about Sony, that it was probably the most rich people toy that got announced. And that's Mario Kart AR, where you can play Mario Kart with actual carts. You just gotta have the space for them to be able to run around in your living room. Which I don't. It seems super cool. And I know if I show the commercial to my siblings, they're going to want it. But they don't have space for that in their living room. They have dogs in the house.
It's all fun and games till one of the dogs grabs the car.
Who actually has space for this? You know?
I can tell you, but you already said
well, yeah, that's the problem. So, you know, hey, if you got the space for it, give it a shot. I'm sure it's really fun, but yeah. Following that was Super Mario All-Stars, which Shadowdrop. This was the, like, All-Stars version that came out on previous consoles. So, sure, that's cool, you know?
Wait, Shadowdrop?
Yeah, if you want to play all of those old Mario games, Mario World, Mario 3, original Mario, they're all on Switch now, which is good. I think there's no reason for them not to be. So bring them on, right? People that never got to play those games now have a chance to play them. Following that is probably the most contentious thing that was announced. Super Mario 3D All Stars that's coming out next week.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's coming out so soon.
So why would this be controversial, right? A 3D All Stars game that's going to have all the 3D Marios, right? It's going to have 64, it's going to have Sunshine, it's going to have Galaxy 1 and 2. You're going to go ahead and throw 3D, probably not 3D World because it's separate and it's got its own thing going on, but you're going to go ahead and throw in like Odyssey in there, and so people can just buy this one big pack of 3D Mario, right? That's what you're going to do, right? That's not what this is. This is 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy 1, which, I mean, those are all 3 great games, for a limited time. Until March of next year, you'll be able to buy these games. What happens after that? We don't know. They didn't explain. It could be that come March of next year, each of these games goes exclusive, like individual, solo on the store. And then they're each like $20, and you buy the package now before March and you get it all for $40. It's all going to be $60, let's be honest. But like, man, you get it for cheaper. We don't know because they didn't tell us. They just threw this out there with limited time and then walked away, and the internet devoured itself. So, I don't know how deep we want to get into this, but I think the idea of limited time releases for video games, physically, sure, it's physical. It makes sense. That's whatever. Physical stock gets destroyed, whatever. Digitally is really dumb.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. And all it would have taken for me to feel better about this was Nintendo saying, yeah, come March, they'll all be sold separately, but you have until March to buy them as a pack, Also, I think the idea that because we like Nintendo, we have to defend every choice Nintendo makes is a bad mindset. But there's also the mindset of everybody's always ragging on Nintendo, so I need to pick up the slack and defend Nintendo because nobody else is going to. And that's not a great mindset either. I also don't think you should just be ragging on everything Nintendo does either. I think the big important thing to remember is none of these companies are your friends. None of these companies care about you individually, and they all just want your money. Nintendo sometimes is the best of them, and sometimes is the worst of them.
Yep.
So, I don't think we should be burning Nintendo stocks in the street over this, but I do think we should hold them accountable for this. And the problem is, I'm part of the problem. I'm going to buy this because I want to play Sunshine again. I don't have my Wii anymore. I gave it to my parents. I have my Wii U, but guess what the Wii U won't play? GameCube games. I want to play Sunshine. I'm going to buy it. I could play Mario 64. I don't have a TV. So like, even if I hooked up my GameCube or my N64, I don't have a TV. I have my monitors now. And you say, well, Trey, just buy a TV, but I can just buy this pack. So yeah. It's I get where the discrepancy and where the argument comes from, but we don't have to. It's just like the Pokemon thing, man. It's okay to not like it. It's okay to like it. But just stop fighting about it all the time, man. Nobody cares what that tree looks like. We care how the games play.
Yeah.
We don't care whether or not you love Sunshine. I love Sunshine too. And we don't care how angry this makes you. We care about the fact that this is a bad practice. Like, we could just go back to the tree. Cat cares. Go back to the tree. Go back to Spike graphics. But, like, the discussions always just devolve, and we're going to get into it in a minute with, like, the next announcement. They always just devolve into these bickering that is not actually trying to understand the other side. It's not actually trying to deal with anything. It's just, I'm going to make you feel worse about your position because my position I can't defend. So instead of trying to go like, yeah, that makes sense, I'm just going to double down. Like, we can want it and still be upset. I will buy Sunshine, but I think this is stupid.
Yeah, it's just flat out dumb.
I got lightheaded. I ranted for so long there. Yeah, no, it's not great. Pat, did you have any thoughts before we moved on? I've been talking over both of you.
We've said pretty much everything I want to say too. It's just really frustrating. It's frustrating that we have to deal with this kind of crap. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Mario game crimes. So, let's talk about the other thing people are mad about today. They got announced today. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Did you guys know what this is? Did you watch the trailer, see the announcement?
I did not. I saw the announcement. I did not watch the trailer.
This is Hyrule Warriors 2. Hyrule Warriors being the Zelda Dynasty Warriors game. First one was really good. And it's telling the story of the Calamity War from Breath of the Wild. So
I wonder if my weapons will break in this game.
I doubt it highly. So you will get to go back and play that story. The story of what happened 100 years ago when Ganon came back to try and take over Hyrule. And at the start of Breath of the Wild, anybody that's played it knows that Ganon is already in control of Hyrule and you're having to fight your way back. So obviously we know how the war ends, but you get to see snippets of it in Breath of the Wild. And so it's really exciting to me to be able to go back and play it. You may ask, but Trey, why are people mad about this? Do you want to know the reason people are angry?
Why?
It's not Breath of the Wild 2, which
So
is
what?
still coming.
Yeah, you know they're making it.
It's still coming. And people are like, why would you announce this other game that's not Breath of the Wild 2 where you're supposed to be making Breath of the Wild 2? And it's like, come on. It's a whole different team. It's Omega Force, the people who make Dynasty Warriors that are making this game. It has nothing to do with Breath of the Wild. But no, it's not Breath of the Wild 2, and it's not Smash, and it's not the thing they wanted, so people are mad. I don't mute people on Twitter very often. I muted a lot of people today. Because it was just so annoying seeing, why isn't this Smash news, Nintendo? Do you want to lose a customer? And it's like, come on, man. This isn't, Nintendo's not making this. Someone else is making this.
I always love the people who, like you said, do you want to lose a customer? I always love those people. It's like they don't care.
Yeah.
You're one person.
Yeah.
Like when I worked in retail, and you can vouch for this as well. We worked together. People would be like, "I'm never shopping at this store again." Okay, good. You're annoying. You're an asshole.
$1. It'd be over like $1 on Black Friday.
Yeah.
I think it in a weird way, I think it goes back to parasocial relationships of I've shopped at this place so much, they ought to respect me. They don't even know who you are.
Yeah, they don't care about you at all.
Jin brings up a great point too. At the end of the trailer, it says next update, September 26th. That's either more information about this game or Breath of the Wild 2. So like people just need to calm down, man. Just take a break. Take a chill pill, you know? Yeah, it absolutely, Artaki. It 100% is the Persona SMT5 situation again. When SMT5 was announced, do you know what the complaint was? But what about Persona? And it's... These are different teams. It would be like if you went to Game... I was about to say it would be like if you went to Game Freak when they were making a different game and threw a fit because it's not Pokemon, when it was a different team. But do you guys remember what happened when they announced Town?
Yep.
That exact thing happened. Meanwhile, we got gold consoles over here and stuff leaking, and people aren't mad about that.
I feel like in a really weird way, the gaming community is shifting.
Yeah.
And it's just shifting to like the same like cancel culture, like the like, oh well, this isn't what I want, so you're wrong. Like y'all need to stop what you're doing and do what I want.
I think there's like two clear camps, right? It's the, and this is not to say like reasonable and unreasonable. It's the older people that are just like, hey, this stuff is messed up. We recognize this stuff is messed up. We just want the things that we want. We're just going to wait. And it's the younger crowd that is, and this is not just an age thing either. People can be any age on both sides. I'm talking older gamers as in older maturity. You can be whatever age and be that mature, right? Yeah. And the more immature that are like, hey, you made the new Fortnite update and it didn't have that one Marvel character I wanted, so I'm going to burn your whole business down. And they think they're reasonable with it because that's the way they talk. You know, that's the conversations they have with people. Of, can you believe they didn't put this person in there? We should just destroy them all.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like, what are you getting out of it by sitting here and being mad at a group that doesn't even make that game?
Yeah. And I know I'm being very hyperbolic. Obviously, there are people in every camp that look at things differently. But when you get constant posts that are like crunch versus no crunch, and it's like The Last of Us 2 and then an indie game, and they're like, look at how much better Sony is. It's like, come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's an indie game.
Yeah, what are you doing? I'll just keep raging. We should move on. I'm excited for this. I just want to put that out there. I'm very excited for this. You're right, Kat.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be excited about more Zelda content?
Right? Yeah. Zelda, like, it's good. Oh, I just remembered the people that were mad because of Cadence of Hyrule. Oh, can I just be done with the internet for the day? I love Nintendo, but it's fans, man. Sometimes just...
Yeah, the diehard fans are something else.
Of course, Kat, they were mad because it wasn't a new Zelda game. It was a new dancing game. And, like, these are the same people that go, when's Waluigi going to get added into Smash? But they don't actually want him in Smash. The people that actually want Waluigi in Smash just get sad every time. They don't, like, rant and rave about it on Twitter. The people that are...
He's at least a trophy.
Yeah. The people that are, like, excited that there is new Metroid content coming are not the ones that are out there like, you know what, Metroid's dead. Nintendo, make more Metroid. It's like, yeah, no, we're just waiting for more Metroid. I would love it if Metroid came out this year. I love Metroid. Metroid Prime 4 come out soon, hopefully. But, you know, it's just, it's not here. It's Metroid the Mecha. We're moving on. So, the Xbox One X, I'm sorry, this is because of the dumb naming scheme. The Xbox One S leaked. I'm sorry, this is because of the dumb naming scheme. The Xbox Series S leaked. My gosh, why are they like this?
Just start using numbers, damn it.
Oh, okay. So, the way that this went down is actually really funny to me. Because for months, everybody's been going, somebody pull the trigger. Somebody. Microsoft, Sony, I don't care which one. Somebody give us a price. We know you're coming out in weeks, right? It's like 9 weeks. We know you're coming out. Just give us a price. So then both of them put it off, trying to like wait for the other one to pull so that they could show a better price, right? And then just one guy on YouTube uploaded a video with an actual still from inside Microsoft offices showing the price point on the Xbox One Series S.
And it went
it's Xbox Series S, Trey.
It's such a dumb name. The Xbox Series S will be $299.
I just want to say, shout out to Microsoft Xbox's Twitter game.
Oh yeah, Xbox's Twitter that immediately just tweeted a meme that was the monkey puppet going. It's like, yeah, no, everybody knows now.
That was quality. And then they were like, all right, yeah.
We got caught. Here's the whole thing. So it'll be $299. It does not have a disk drive. That's the thing to remember, right? It seems like a pretty solid console as far as I can tell. It still has the USB port on the front. but it will not have a disk drive, and it's $299. So the full version is assumed to be either $499 or $599. I don't think they've said yet. In the middle of all of that, I'm sorry, before we move on, do you guys have any thoughts about the Lockhart, the Series S? It looks like an intercom.
The 512 gig solid state is not enough.
I agree.
I might buy this console.
I mean, if you don't need the space and you don't mind not having a disk drive, it's a good price.
The reason I might buy this console, which I am very anti-Xbox, is because
Sony fanboy.
Yeah, that's fine. It's because that price to me is worth what few exclusives will be on that console.
Yeah,
and
it's a great price.
Get the exclusives on PC Game Pass.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing. So I have a select few friends that will not get PlayStation because they've had Xbox for years, and they don't care about exclusives. They only play like some of the sports games I play and stuff like that. This is perfect for that. It's a cheap console. It's an affordable console in my opinion.
Yeah.
I could get that just so I could play with my friends and use it solely for that purpose, or as like media. Like I could use it for YouTube and crap, and then have my PS4 over here at my desk.
Sure.
Or PS5. So I'm actually heavily considering buying this console, which I never would have ever thought those words were coming out of my mouth. But there you go.
I'm torn because again, the price point is great. That is good enough price wise that I would probably get it. But if there's a game import or review code that comes in on a disc, which does not happen often, but does happen sometimes, I need a disc player for those. So I would rather just use Game Pass unless I need to, you know? But I also recognize that my situation is really unique. So like, hey, this is a good deal unless you can't afford digital games. If you need physical games, you need to be buying them secondhand. That's the other issue I think with like the half step that this is. If you are, how do we put this? If you are really broke, like you are living paycheck to paycheck and you just want a game console to be able to relax and you're buying your games 6, 7, 8 months after they've come out at GameStop without even regular cases. You're buying them in sleeves, you know? This console is going to be a whole lot cheaper, and there's going to be a lot of people that buy it that don't know it doesn't have a disc drive, but you're not going to be able to play those cheap games. You're going to have to get them digitally.
I wonder something.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can connect a disc drive to it.
That is a good question. It's got a USB port. I would question how well those games would run going through a USB port.
That's fair.
But
watch them make like an accessory that you can buy.
Yeah, maybe.
You know they will.
Bring in the extra money.
Well, while we're talking consoles, if you guys are done talking about Xbox, you guys want to move on to the other one?
Yeah.
Because a gold PS5 was announced. You know,
Costs
you would
half
think
the price of my car.
You would think that following this reveal, this price, Sony would want to immediately get their price out there so that people would, you know, jump on it. But instead, Sony reveals a limited edition console for $10,000.
Yep.
Do you guys...
I'm still... No, go ahead.
No, please, go ahead.
I'm still one of those people that thinks that the PS5 looks cool. I like the design. I think it looks terrible gold.
Yeah.
It looks awful gold.
What is the purpose? I mean, I know what the purpose is, but what is the normal purpose for a gold console?
Why are they even attacking this demographic?
Because they will make money on it.
Yeah, they will make money off of it.
But will they? I don't think there's that many people that are really going to want a golden console.
It's a collector's item for sure. It's 100% to be able to show off to your friends or people that, hey, I have the gold PS5 limited edition.
I feel like even rich people would rather just buy the cheaper console.
Yeah, you underestimate rich people.
I mean, I'm with you, Kat. I don't object to the fact that it exists. It's just a cautionary tale. I do think there are people that will go into debt to buy one of these. Because it's the cool thing, right? And because right now they still don't know how much the regular one costs. They're going to be people that are going to see this and go, $10,000? That's a steal because I don't know. And there's going to be other people that go, I'm not going to buy a PS5. I heard they were $10K. Like, that's the misinformation. I worked in retail gaming for a long time. Misinformation is the worst when it comes to selling video games. When the Xbox One came out and they originally said that it would not be able to play games unless it was connected to the internet, that shot the thing in the foot for every local retailer. Because everybody came in assuming that it still had to be connected to the internet at all times. The Wii U, when it came out, people came in assuming it was just another Wii, so they didn't buy it, even though it was a new console. The same thing happened with the new 3DS. People went, well, I already have a 3DS. Why do I need a new one? It's like, well, it's not, it's new. It's a new console. It's got new stuff. It's not just new. The naming, this is why names are so important, and PlayStation has it. It's so simple. Numbers. Nobody's ever going to go, well, why would I buy a PS5 when I have a PS4? They're going to go, oh, that's a better version of what I have.
Yeah, 5 is bigger than 4.
Yeah. Whereas somebody that has an Xbox is going to go, why do I need an Xbox Series anything? What is that? Is that like an update?
They could have gone with like 720, like kept doing the circle degrees. That would have been cool. The Xbox 720 sounds cooler than the Xbox One.
I agree.
I will say I remember working in retail gaming as well, and this was probably 2 years after the Xbox One came out.
Yeah,
and people were still asking me which console should I get, and I would tell them, well, it depends on what you're looking for, blah blah blah. They would throw out, yeah, but I have to always be online on the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's actually not true.
Right. I think there's this idea that everybody that cares about consoles just reads up on gaming stuff constantly.
Yeah.
But I'll put it this way. Most people that came in to buy new consoles during PS4 and Xbox One launch window would ask, is Mario coming to these consoles? Can I get a Mario game on these? Because they just don't know. They don't understand how it all works. They don't read up on it. They're just buying a game console because gaming is what people do now. And so, like, the idea of, hey, before we tell you how much the regular one's going to cost, here's the big fancy limited edition one. It's just really dumb to me. Because people are going to think that means PS5 is $10,000.
Yeah.
I have a weird theory.
Okay.
I feel like they planned on revealing it, like, really soon.
Sure.
Saw the price for the Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
And went, oh shit.
Sure.
Let's throw out garbage so we can figure this out. Because
Sure.
this is not going to sell.
It's possible.
Because they're not changing the price on a golden console.
No.
Like, that's not happening. Especially if it's like 24 karat gold. Like, they're not changing that price. So they'll throw that out there because that's not changing.
Yeah.
But they're like, hey, we might want to lower our price because we're not making sales. I guarantee it. So that's what my theory is.
It's very possible. Do you know what the other big problem with the gold console is? Do you remember what happened to the Xbox 360 shortly after launch? It's called the Red Ring of Death.
Oh, baby, yeah.
It killed consoles indiscriminately, and consoles had to be shipped back.
Yeah.
when Xbox 360 launched, it launched with a Halo game. Do you remember that? Halo 3.
No.
It was a big thing. There were Halo Edition consoles. I was working in the gaming department at a local retail store at that time. And do you know what happened when the Xbox 360 Halo Edition had to come back? Because it had a red ring of death, they got a standard edition. They didn't get their money back for the price difference because they didn't make the Halo Edition anymore. It just didn't exist. So you may buy this gold one. You're not going to get the exact one back. And like I'm with Kat, there's no way rich people would let Sony get away with that, but it's not going to be solid gold. You're going to get gold plated. You're going to get gold painted, maybe even. Because they're not going to keep making these. They do not do that. They make them for a short, very short window, and then they stop because otherwise they just have extras in warehouses and they're not making money on them.
They're losing a lot more money that way.
Mm-hmm. So
I feel like these are gonna have to be special ordered. There's no way they're making these and setting them on the shelf.
No, they're only making 250 of them. So
that's just stupid.
Maybe Sony will special remake one of these for you if it breaks, but I highly doubt it. I bet you'll get the exact same casing you sent in with regular PS5 parts in there again.
Like, who's doing this?
Yeah. So hopefully the console doesn't have any problems, or the headset, because it comes with a headset, or either of the two controllers. But that's why you don't get the limited stuff right away and pay a bunch of extra for it, because you just don't know. These consoles are new. They could be broken.
Yeah.
But regardless, we can move on to our last piece of news for the night. Dead by Daylight is adding a new killer.
Nice.
I'm glad they're still updating this.
For sure. I did a bunch of research trying to figure out if this was a reference to somebody in particular. I don't think it is. I think it's one of their own custom-made killers. It's the Blight.
Original content's the best content.
He is, I think it's really cool. He is a chemist that, I believe he's a chemist that gets brought into like this cult, and they turn him into like you know the Murgo's wet nurse from Bloodborne that has like the long hood? He's kind of got that, and then his jaw is unhinged, and he's got like these pustules of this yellowish acid. It seems like he kind of uses that to hunt people, but it seemed pretty interesting. So cool that they're making new stuff for that again. That's not just references and crossovers. I mean, I think the crossovers are cool. They bring people to that game, you know, but the team should be allowed to make their own stuff too. And so it's cool that they still are. But
it actually looks super cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Right now. He can dash.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we should probably wrap up soon. Andrew's held on, and we're proud of him for it, but we should probably wrap up soon. You guys have any plugs?
I do not.
I'm gonna plug Braille Skateboarding. They recently did a milk thing with Tony Hawk, which was really cool. They had to do tricks and try to keep milk in a glass. Like,
Nice.
they had to try not to spill it. Some of the stuff they did was really cool. And one of them was able to do a trick without spilling the milk. And I'm not going to spoil which one. So it's a really cool video to watch.
Cool.
And then, of course, Mythical Kitchen. They made Goldfish Totino's pizza rolls. So
Okay.
check that out. You say that. You say that. You haven't tried it. But yeah, neither have I. But Mythical Kitchen, they're great. Everybody should watch them. I love their content. It's so good.
Okay. I'm going to plug the King of the What Now podcast and the King of the What Now Discord, where we watch stuff every Friday. It helps a lot when I am babysitting kiddos and I can't be at my computer and I can't be messing with stuff, to be able to just kick back and watch some TV with friends. So very cool. Very great. It helps a lot. I'm going to plug our Discord, where we get up to a bunch of shenanigans. Again, if you support the Patreon and you don't get your Discord link, please let me know, and we will get you the link to the Discord. We have a good time there. There's something else that I was going to plug. It was important. Oh, the channel Shadowversity. I've talked about him before on here. He's the guy that does all of the like medieval stuff and talks about history and everything. I just recently did an archery video with both of his brothers, and their dynamic is really funny. And it's like an hour long where they just talk about archery. And I think it's really interesting and worth a good watch. So, you know, there you go. That's my plug. Yeah, coming up on the channel today was Townscaper, which is the game about building a little town. It's very much just like an open source, make your own fun kind of game. I unironically think I might have made an ASMR video without realizing it, because I tell the story of this town that I made up. So, I mean, hey, check that video out, I guess, if you want to hear me tell a story for like 30 minutes that I make up as I go. Yeah, Gundam's going to continue. Tomorrow should be the 01 full review for Tokusatsu check-in. And then I ranked all of the League of Legends champions based on the coolness factor that I think each of them has. So we'll talk about that Friday, maybe? I don't know. Friday might also just be like, today's Tuesday, so it might be Thursday. I don't know what day it is now anymore. But we're going to have some good stuff coming up. So please look forward to all of that. Oh, yeah, the King of the What Now drawing challenge that came up in the King of the What Now Discord, Tokutober. That's going to be fun, too. Please look forward to that. Anyway, all that said, thanks, everybody, for coming to hang out. We had a great time. I have been Trey.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Pattrick.
And we've been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. And life